Sorry about that.
A participant has joined the meeting.
But nonetheless, we're grateful for everyone to be here with us this morning. And we're grateful to have Christy Ragle and giving her time to share with us about marketing aspects, especially in the condition that we're in this pandemic of shutting down many of our small businesses. And we are now having to be forced to do things outside the box that we're probably not used to or adapted to yet. Looking forward to that. I'm going to make sure that everyone is mute so that way we don't have any background noise. At the same time, if you have questions, please send them to me. You can send them to me directly, privately, and I'll go ahead and I'll consolidate those questions, and that way we can make sure that Christy stays focused. And then that way also, if there's several questions of the same kind, I can at least try to consolidate that for Christy near the end. We will have another webinar just like this next Thursday at 10 a.m. with Cindy Kiner, and she'll be talking about the human resource aspect of this pandemic and about the CARES Act and the Family Leave Act and anything else that you may have questions from a human resource perspective. So with that, I'll turn this meeting over to Christy.
Super. I just wanted to thank you all for being here today. It's so great to see some of your wonderful faces and hear some of your sounds in your homes before we were muted. But I really want to encourage you today in this workshop. And I've got a slideshow that I've prepared. So let me see if I can figure out how to do this. I'm learning. This is my first WebEx meeting. So I'm hoping that you guys can see this screen here, and we're going to go through these slides and have a great time doing it, I hope. So I hope this is a little bit of brightness in your day. I think most of you know me, so I'm not going to go ahead and introduce myself. So we're just going to just dive right in. The first thing I want to do is
A participant has joined the meeting.
I want to talk to you about hope. I want to give you some hope. Because this has been crazy. Like we've all said, I think this has just been crazy. It's not something that in your 2020 marketing plans, you weren't thinking, okay, and I'm going to prepare for a global pandemic and we're going to get it all taken care of. That just wasn't in the mix. So, but I will say that if you are a small business owner or you're leading an organization, you are by nature a problem solver, right? I mean, this is what you do. You solve problems. So this is just a bigger, more difficult, more different problem that you've dealt with. But I have complete hope in you and complete faith in you that you're capable of managing this and that you will be succeeding through it. So, so I want to begin with that. Begin with saying, we're going to get through this. There is hope. I'm seeing more good stories, which is good. And you, as a small business owner, as a leader of an organization, you are a problem solver, and you have this. You've got this. So I have complete faith in you in this. Okay, so this is a phrase I heard in one of the podcasts that I was listening to, building a plane while we're flying it. And that was a phrase that was actually coined during the tech surge during the early 2000s. You know, people were just kind of making things up as they went along. I think we're a little further ahead than that, thankfully. But I will say that, you know, nobody has experience in this, right? No one in the world has experience in marketing during a global pandemic. However, there are principles that we can take from crisis communication, and thankfully that was actually my emphasis of what I studied in college once upon a time. And it's been so interesting to tap back into that, the things that I've learned, the principles that I learned, and applying it to the current situation. Even though, you know, that wasn't on the list of things that I actually studied, I will say that so many of these principles apply now, just maybe a little bit differently. But really, I've said this to people before too. This is, you know, there's never a great time to have a tragedy of this proportion, but the fact that we have virtual capabilities does give us a little bit, we have something to lean on, right? We're not just completely pulled the rug pulled out from under us. So I'm going to give you some. I'm going to be sharing some nuggets. I'm going to be sharing some thoughts with you. And really, what we're going to be focusing on today are 5 questions, and they're super basic questions. A lot of these, honestly, are from other marketing talks. That as I went back through, I thought, I feel like I've talked about this before. It's a lot of the same questions. We're just going to be asking them a little bit differently and taking a slightly different approach because of the situation that we're in. So and then we're also going to be providing some guidance for answers. How can you find those answers? How can you obtain those that direction? So so we're going to get started with my first favorite question, and that is, who are you and what is your why? Why do you do what you do? And if you have, I can't, I have like little things, but it's hard for me to go back and forth between I don't know if you guys can see me too, but if you do, I have this phrase here from Simon Sinek, and it says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So if you are a hair salon in this current environment, that is tough, right? But if your why as a hair salon was only to cut people's hair, that's really bad because you can't cut people's hair right now, right? But I have great news for you, or anyone that you know who owns a hair salon. People don't come to you because you have the sharpest scissors in town, right? They come to you because of how you make them feel. So if you, I'm just using the example of a hair salon because honestly, our office is sandwiched right between 2 hair salons, and it's so quiet, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it for them. But if their why, which I know this is their why, if their why is to make people feel good about themselves, if their why is to help people build confidence, then I would say you can still do that. You just can't do it while you're cutting people's hair. But what can you be sharing online that will help people feel good about themselves? Yeah, we're all going to have some major hair color issues here in about 3 weeks, if not before. What are some cute hats we can be wearing? What are some cute ways to wear a bandana? What are some things that we can be doing to help people feel good about themselves? What are some positive quotes? People still want to hear from you. They still want to see and hear what you're doing. So think about that, and think about how you can accomplish your goals even when you don't get to do what you want to be doing. So my second question is, who do you serve? So you may know this already. You may not know this already. This is a great time to double down into this question. I really, really, really hope that you have already been building a tribe around your business. That is going to make this whole thing a ton easier. But if you haven't, there's no better time to start than now. So who are you serving? What is there, who are you reaching out to? Are you serving other business owners? Are you serving people in their 20s and 30s? We want to think about who we're serving. And we're going to be shifting a little bit. This is not a time for hard selling. It's just not. I mean, I hate to say that because, I'm a marketer, and that's what we do, is we market. But marketing in this current situation needs to look more relational. It needs to be more about communicating. And this example came to me because I can see Cindy Kiner on my screen. Cindy Kiner is making a great effort to put together videos that are really helpful to her audience, to her potential people that she might not be serving yet, but by golly, by the end of this, they're going to know that Cindy is a great resource for them. So she knew that her audience was going to be over here wringing their hands thinking, how do we do this payroll thing? What are the weird things that we need to be knowing about human resources? I've never managed a team from home before. What's going on? So she's putting together that's a great example of how yucky would that be if Cindy would have come out and said, okay, for $19.99, you can get 5 minutes of consultation with me, Cindy Kiner. I mean, we'd be like, ugh, I don't want that. So think about how you can be giving, how you can be providing value to that target customer. And when I say, who do you serve? That is a very specific word, serve, because it's not about selling right now. It's about serving. So who can you serve? And you really want to double down on those relationships. So if you have some great relationships, this is a great time to lean into that. Lean into that network and say, hey, I know it's a tough time, but do you have anyone else that I can be serving during this time? Anybody else that I can be reaching out to? You know, that is not a bad conversation to be having. So that's our second question. On to question number 3. Where are they online? I hope that this is kind of going to be a little bit crazy of a talk in terms of this part, because some of you don't have an online presence, and that is tough, but there's never been a better time to start one, really. Chances are most of your audiences, a lot of your audiences are on Facebook. And at the beginning of this year, I was telling my clients, I don't know about Facebook, man. You know, we've got these elections coming up. Everybody's going to probably be tuning out. We better kind of, you know, branch out past Facebook. And then this crazy situation happens. And what is everybody doing constantly? They're on Facebook because they're like, I want to know what's going on. I want to know what my friends are doing. I want to, you know, it's a way that we can be connecting with each other. So chances are they're on Facebook, but they might not be. This is if you're reaching younger audiences, a lot of them are really active on Instagram. So if you have not started an Instagram account and you have something that you think would be great for Instagram visually, anything that you can share that way, Instagram is a great option for you too. Maybe Sean was saying before we started this meeting that YouTube, the chamber has just started a YouTube channel. So if you feel like people could be served well, if your audience could be served well on YouTube, then hey, this is a great time to start a YouTube channel. So the other thing, that if you have email addresses, dig them out and plug them into a system and check in with people and see if you can start sharing some value with them through email. You may be in a situation where you're serving an older audience and a much older audience, and this question is not really relevant to you, but you may want to think about picking up the phone and giving a call, or sending a card, or sending a postcard, or just something that we don't have to always communicate online. It's certainly the easiest way to do that. But the main thing we want to be doing right now is connecting. We don't want people to think about, I didn't say this at the beginning and I intended to, if we as business owners just put the brakes on our business right now and we say, well, I can't really do anything because, you know, I mean, they shut my business down. If we just put the brakes on everything and we don't keep the wheels turning, when this lets up, we are going to have a really hard time starting back up. I don't know about you. I don't drive cars with big motors. So if I want to go from 0 to 60, I better be starting at 30 or 40. So you might not be going 60 miles an hour, but you can go 30 or 40 miles an hour, right? And keep the wheels moving. So keep connecting with your customers online. You might not be able to sell them anything right now. And I hate to say it, but that might be okay, because when this lets up, they'll want to do business with you because you've kept those lines of communication open and you've kept that relationship going. So, but if you go radio silent for 2 months, and then you're like, hey, I'm back, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I forgot about you. You know, I've been watching all these other people. I've been connecting with all these other people, but I didn't get to connect with you. So pay attention to where people are online. Okay, we're just speeding right along here. Question number 4. This sort of goes along with a lot of what we've been talking about. How else can you solve their problem? How can you solve a problem for your audience? So again, you got to know who your audience is, but if your audience right now is parents with young children, I can tell you they are probably about to pull their hair out. I am really, really thankful that my boys are 18 and 21 right now, but we have our whole other set of challenges, right? Our biggest problem right now to solve is how can we feed these children? They just keep eating all the time. So I would love some recipes from somebody. I would love some great ways to make my grocery bill stretch, because it's that whole stimulus money that we are getting is going directly to Kroger's. I can just tell you right now, I just write the check right over to them. But what problem can you solve for your clients? And I'm going to go back to Cindy. She's going to be my golden child here, but she knew that the problem her clients were having was every day there's a new set of rules, there's a new set of OSHA's telling us to do this, and the payment protection thing is coming over here, and she just took all that government jumbo mumble and she just makes it so people can understand it. Because right now we're all on information overload to a certain degree. So how can you make things, simplify things for people? How can you give them some solutions to what they need? You know, really the biggest part, your biggest challenge is going to be breaking through the noise. So you might say, well, there's all these experts, they're already doing videos and it's just me. I'm just sitting here and I don't know, I don't have the fancy video setup that they do. But the bottom line is people want to see you. They want to hear from you. I honestly play videos from some people that are local just because I miss my people. I miss them. Like I said to the people that were here early on, I'm a high I personality. And so this is really, really hard. So I want to see local people. I want to see how they're doing. I want to make sure they're okay. So people want to see you. They want to know what you're up to. The other example, the other thing that we want to be about is to be indispensable. How can we make ourselves indispensable? And I'm going to give you the example of my dad's excavating company. First, I'm going to take a little water break. So my dad's excavating company is based in Michigan. And in Michigan, construction services are completely shut down. They shut down, the governor shut down anything related to construction, no construction. It doesn't matter that he was going to sanitize the cabs. It doesn't matter that his people never see each other or any of that. It didn't matter. They just shut it down. So my parents are in a little bit of a different situation. So my mom was like, I don't know. How can we even market right now? I don't even know what we can do. And we were talking about it. And my suggestion was, people are home all the time right now. So that flooding issue that you can solve for them in regrading their backyard, you need to tell them that you can help them with it. You need to tell them that you can solve that problem for them once that lifts. And you could do a virtual consultation with them. So offer that on your Facebook page. Offer that on your website and things like that. So what are some things you can be doing now that kind of sets you up for when this starts to let up, when the restrictions do come back down again? You know, it's I think we all are pretty much of the understanding that it's not going to be like you switch the light and it all comes back on again just like before. I mean, you want to have having some jobs in the pipeline is going to be a really, really good thing. And chances are those customers are going to be like, well, I don't have that problem, but I think my neighbor does. I'm going to tag them in this post because I don't really want to, like, it's kind of rude to say, hey, your backyard's kind of a train wreck, but you know, it's not such a bad thing to just share that post and maybe they'll see it. And so there are some ways that even in the darkest of circumstances that you can help solve a problem for your customers. Okay, and then last but absolutely not least, in terms of my questions, I've got some more things to share with you after this last question, but what is your plan? Um, it's pretty easy right now to just like wake up in the morning and go, okay, so honestly, just true story, sidebar here. Every morning I wake up and I have to retell myself what's happening because I really like I'll wake up and I'll be like, is that really happening? Am I really in this situation? So, after you wake up and you retell yourself, then you kind of make your plan for the day. But what if you could make a plan for a week or some contingency plans for a month? You can't, we have a stack of 25 marketing plans for clients that we basically just had to say, okay, well, we can't use those right now. We can hopefully use them later. But for this month, this is what we're going to be about. This is what we're going to be sharing. This is what we're going to be kind of focusing on. Because if I can tell you right now, if you don't have a plan, even if it is for 3 days at a time, it's just going to be like something I'll get to that. I really want to just play this game on my phone for another 5-10 minutes. If you don't have a plan, the days are going to start to get real mushy. So give yourself a plan, make yourself a plan, get yourself into something that will help your business move forward. Some suggestions for plans. If you're not already on LinkedIn or using LinkedIn and you serve businesses, this is a great time to get on LinkedIn and get super active there. This is a really good time to learn how to use Facebook to its max. And I'm going to kind of flip through some other ideas that I have for you. I want you to make sure people can find you. This is a very sad story for me because I'm going to show you my t-shirt. Okay, so it says support small businesses, eat, drink, shop. So I really got excited because we didn't get to go on vacation, so we had some extra funds in the old budget, and so that was before we realized how much the kids were going to be eating. That I thought, well, I'm going to go to this local shop that I really like, and I'm going to go and I'm going to spend this much money. And it was kind of a little big chunk of change for my family, but I was like, I deserve this. I didn't get to go to the beach. I'm going to get some new clothes or new whatever, So I go and they didn't have a website. I was like, I don't know how to buy things from you. I don't know. I want to do business with you, but I don't know how. So I want to encourage you to make sure that your business is listed on Google My Business. That's free. Make sure you have a Google business listing. If you don't, honestly, just Google My Business and they will literally walk you through it. If you have trouble, don't hesitate to shoot me an email. If you don't have a Facebook page, or if you want to maybe think about developing a Facebook group, this is a great time to do that too. The other thing, in normal times, I would say to you, hire a really awesome web developer who can get you a really nice WordPress site. So it's like super professional and amazing, and you'll just love it. These are not normal times. You might not be able to get a web developer to get that done for you very quickly. But I will say my team, we use it when we absolutely have to, and I almost like, we use a web service called Wix, W-I-X. And I'm telling you, if I can build a website on Wix, you can build a website on Wix. I'm not, as much as I love technology and what it does for people, I'm not great at actually like building websites. I can write all the copy for it. I got the writing down. But when it comes to putting it together, I need some help. And Wix is great at that. If you don't already have a website, I would really encourage you. It might take you the weekend. I bet you by Monday you could have a website up and running. So I have confidence in you. And if you get stuck, call me and I'll see if we can work on it together. But I really want you to have a website so that people can pay you. I want to make sure that you have an easy way for people to pay you. Sean initially set this workshop up for me because he was getting a lot of questions about how can people pay for things on Facebook. Well, there's good news and bad news. The bad news first is that Facebook doesn't really like people paying for things on Facebook. You can pay your friends back and forth, but they really, really frown upon businesses using that. However, as part of them trying to help us out during this time, they are providing a way to sell gift cards through Facebook.
Oh,
But you're going to need a third party. They are using Cabbage and they are using Square for sure. They might be using some, you can probably get it figured out to sell some things on through PayPal too. You're going to have those things if you're going to sell online. You're going to have a way to collect money, because I cannot right now myself, because I've got a kid at home with asthma. I'm having to deliver groceries to my friend who's 70 years old. I don't want to touch a dollar bill for the rest for this whole thing. I don't want to touch any money. I want to be able to just punch, punch, punch and pay you. Okay. I mean, I know that the credit card companies take a cut from that. If I can figure out a way to use my debit card, that's what I'm going to use, because I know the fees are lower if I possibly can. But we really need, as small businesses, to make it easy for people to pay us. I'm actually working through this myself. So I'm going to be giving you actually a worksheet thing. Actually, my I don't know if you guys can see me, you'll get to see this. I'm not sure if you guys can see me or not, but this creating social media content is actually something that Morgan, that works in my office, did for a class. And I was like, oh, that's really valuable. We're going to share that with the chamber team, if you a chamber workshop, if you don't mind. And she didn't. So she actually literally created this the weekend after we had just like gone through and had to do like major emergency everything with all of our clients. And so she is very, very timely and relevant. And when we were going through this as a team, she's like, well, I thought you could pull out that old calendar that you have. I said, I'm not using anything that hasn't been created for this time and place. But I'm going to send you that. And I'm also going to send you, if you I'm hoping I can get your email addresses from Sean, but I'll send you some links to some ways that you can get your pay stuff set up, some resources that I found, because why make you go look for something if I already looked for it for you? So we'll just put those into that email too. But I want to leave you, before we get to the questions, I want to leave you with a challenge. And this challenge, I'm going to use my son Titus for, because if you can see the look in his eyes in this photo, this is what I have parented for the last 18 years. Titus started his freshman year as a 5-foot kid, 5 feet tall, 130 pounds soaking wet. Okay, this kid is not big. He couldn't control his size, but he did work really hard. But he was like, he has this big dream. I'm going to play Division I football. And his dad and I were like, oh, that's great, honey. Oh, like, what do you say to your kid? I mean, you don't want to squash his dreams. Well, he worked at what he could control. He worked on his speed. He worked on his strength, and he developed a really great work ethic. So he now he will be playing, if everything clears up, he will be playing Division I football this fall. So he made that happen for him. But his key is that he doesn't focus on, this is what I'm going to say to you, don't focus on your losses. Once again, this is a kid who lost his whole senior year. He didn't get to hang out with his friends in the hall anymore. He doesn't get to go to prom. He's probably not going to have a graduation ceremony. We don't know, but probably not. But instead of sitting around and saying, oh, I can't believe I don't get to do this and I don't get to do that, Titus is somebody who, and I'm going to encourage you, focus on your opportunities. So instead of being all sad, he loves his teachers. This is one of those weird kids that likes school. He's so weird. But instead he's like, well, now I can use this time to learn about even more things I want to learn about. Maybe I can get a head start on some of my college stuff. Maybe I can, and he's doing all these really weird workouts. He can't go to his weight class anymore, so he does all these weird workouts. So my house, I hope it stands after this, but I want you to think about this. Don't focus on your losses, focus on your opportunities. Again, this has kind of been if I have a pet peeve about, and then I haven't seen local businesses do this at all, because I feel like our area, Henry County local businesses are doing a fabulous job of getting the word out about their companies. But don't do a lot of hand wringing. Nobody wants to buy pity right now, okay? So if you're like, oh my gosh, we're not gonna make it unless you guys help us out, if you don't buy 5,000 gift cards, well, I'm probably not gonna want to buy 5,000 gift cards if you're telling me you're worried that you're not gonna make it. Because what if I can't use my gift card? I mean, at the end of the day, I love your business, but I have other charities I donate to. I can't donate to your business. So I want you to think about it in terms of opportunity. One of my BNI members runs a restaurant, and he's like, well, we've been wanting to get a good carryout business going. So we're just using this as an opportunity to build our carryout service and get our systems and processes so perfected. And I'm like, that's great. I'm going to go ahead and buy that $50 gift card from your restaurant. So focus on your opportunities in this challenging time. And I want to also say that we're here for you. My team we're all working remotely, but when we're getting it done, we're staying very busy and very active. Thankfully, we've only lost a couple of clients that just put us on pause. But so we're still full steam ahead trying to keep our clients engaging with their customers. We do free consultations. So, and this is not a time when I'm really looking to get new clients. I just really want to serve my community. So if you need something, you now have my email address. You can reach out to me and I'll be glad to help you out. Here I am preaching to the choir here. Like, should probably take some of my own advice. We're trying to share somewhere on our Facebook page and LinkedIn. But again, we just went through 3 weeks of like working nonstop for our clients and trying to get them up and running. I was so thankful that Sean gave me this opportunity to, it was so cool because we had just kind of gotten, so we're like, okay, now we got through that. And then I was like, oh, I should probably do something for my community. And then like literally that day, Sean called and I was like, perfect. I love how God works. So anyway, we're definitely here to serve you. So at this time, I'm going to see if Sean has any questions that he's gotten from you all.
Yes, I do. In fact, I have a few questions, and anybody else who may have a question, feel free to send that to me through the chat. And then what we may do later on, after we get through those questions, those who are on the calls and aren't able to send me a question, we can open that up to the callers. What we did yesterday was that if you would unmute yourself, and then when you do, I will recognize you and you can go ahead and speak. That way we try to keep everybody on the same page, as well as to keep the background noise down as much as possible. All right, the very first question we have, Christy, for you is from Kelly, and she asked, I've seen other personnel service businesses having the discussion about if it is ethical or not to be selling gift certificates for services. Thoughts on this?
I would say it's definitely ethical to sell gift certificates. In fact, I would encourage that, especially if you're in something like a hair salon or massage therapy or something like that, where you can't get some cash flow now. I don't see anything wrong with that, unless you're like, well, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. Yeah, don't do that then. That would not be ethical. But if you know you're going to start serving people again, and I would just, honestly, first of all, I would say, yes, sell the gift certificates. Be thinking now about how you're going to sanitize everything and share that. Share like, hey, you might not know this, but between everything we do already, this is how we sanitize things. Because people, I think there will be a little bit of resistance right away, but I think, yes, definitely. I don't see any problem at all with, I mean, I would want to buy some things right now from people that I know that I know I'm going to need a massage. I know I'm going to need, I'm definitely going to need a massage after this. I know I'm going to need my hair done. I know I want to get a pedicure. Okay, those are things I want. So then, yeah, I'm going to want to go ahead and buy those gift certificates. If you know that you're going to be able to serve people in some way, that would be, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Excellent. I was just asked if I could share how to do the chat and send messages. There is a little button on the bottom of your screen that's as a chat looking bubble, kind of like a cartoon thing. If you click on that and it's highlighted, you'll see the chat box open up onto your right in case you're unaware of that. So, second question, Christy, asked by Jessica. She said, our Google information is incorrect and we have tried changing it multiple times. Can you give me a suggestions for that?
That is a really tough. So I'm guessing that you do own your Google page. Hopefully you do. Google has really scaled back everything that they do right now. In fact, we had a bunch of clients that were doing review campaigns. You can leave reviews on Google. They're not going to show up right now. They're in the same situation we are all in to some degree. They're all working remotely, and they're probably trying to homeschool their children too. So I would say just keep doing it. And I will make a note, honestly, to just tell me what you need done. And I think if you can get a couple of your clients and other people to say, hey, this is really what they're doing, if they see enough of that activity, they will pay attention, I hope. So that's the best we can do right now, is just keep being persistent with them. The other thing I will say is I think they allow you to post. I know they allow you to post like updates on your Google My Business page. So I would post those updates regularly, because again, not everybody uses Facebook, not everybody uses Instagram, but almost everybody uses Google to some level. So post those updates, even if you can say, hey, I know our hours look wrong, but here's what's really going on. You have to refresh those posts every week, but that might be an option too. And Jessica, give me a call offline and we can talk a little bit more about that too, about see if there's any, we can try to walk through that individually.
Excellent. Another question. I keep getting calls about making sure I'm listed with Alexa. What do you think about that? That's from Cindy.
I did. I rolled my eyes. I'm sorry. I don't think you need to worry about that right now. I really don't. So I think they're trying to sell things just like everybody else, but this is just, honestly, it's just not. If you don't want to be, this might be a great time to learn what that means, but you don't pay anybody to do that. Just Google, how should my business be listed on Alexa? You could probably figure it out yourself without having to pay somebody to do it for you. So yeah, I had a call yesterday from the phone directory people, and I was like, I just almost lost it. I was like, no, not right now. Why are you calling people right now? Stop. Small businesses do not want to talk to you. I'm sorry. We have other things we're doing. So, but anyway, okay.
What's the estimate cost of a Wix website and hosting?
Actually, Wix has a free version of their website, but at the top it will say, this is a Wix website. I just did one. Hang on, let me see if I can. I'll try to, it's like, I was thinking, I did one for about $150 or something like that for a year. It's very reasonable. And if you, yeah, I think last I checked, they were even giving people like a discount, like a half off or something. So yeah, they're really trying to be helpful. So now you're not going to be able to call if you have their free version, you won't be able to call the help desk, but yeah, you can, yeah, it's right around 100. It depends on what all the bells and whistles you want, but you can get a good website that you're selling things on for about $150. So, but you can also get a free one too. So
All right. Another question that came in was, what do you feel are the top 3 platforms used in our area?
definitely Facebook. And I would say Instagram is making a good surge. If you're doing business to business communication, I'm seeing more and more people on LinkedIn. But if you're doing a lot more like consumer stuff, then I would say YouTube. Those would be the top 3.
All right. Any other questions? We don't have any more coming in as of yet. Oh, here we go. What can we do on YouTube?
This is a great time to build what my friend Peggy Sonova calls the know, like, and trust factor. So let people know what you do and let people know your why. I mean, you could do hey, this would be what I would say for my dad and his excavating company. Hey, I'm Larry and I've been in the excavating business for 42 years. I want to tell you about some of our equipment. I want to introduce you to my staff. I mean, those are things that everybody loves to see, especially their neighbors. They might be a little bit nosy about what you do. They want to know that you know what you're doing. So that could be something wise. The other thing I would say is, again, back to how can you solve their problem? So think about what problem might they be having. So if I'm a hair salon, maybe I say, hey, we're doing curbside pickup for root treatments right now. So they do it DIY root treatments, and this is how you do it. And you could do a little demo of that. So trust me when I say you're not putting yourself out of business later. I think at this point, I had a friend text me yesterday and she said, why weren't hair salons listed as essential businesses? I'm like, I don't know. So, but I think the next time around, we're going to make sure that those hair salons have it all taken care of, so we do not have to do this again. But no, I think those would be good. I hope those are good suggestions. If you need some more, you can always get me an email and tell me your specific business, and I'll kind of try to think of some other thoughts for you too. Sure.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and give a couple of seconds here to those who have called in. If they have a question, feel free to unmute yourself, and I'll recognize you. Obviously, we'll let you go ahead with that. So, callers, do you have any questions? Okay. Well, I guess not. I guess you've done a very good job there, Christy.
Well, I hope so. And don't hesitate if you have a question later on to shoot me an email. I cannot tell you how much good this has done my heart to see all your faces. I just miss you all. So I'm sorry. It's just been so good. Sorry, I don't usually get that emotional, but honestly, I tell people I cry every day for something. So I think because, again, the high I in me. But I want you to know how passionate I am for you guys and how much I know you can do this. So I wish I could come through and fix every single thing for you right now, but I can't. But I am here for you. So you know that now for real. And no, if I don't stop, I'm going to keep crying and that's going to be embarrassing. So, but I promise if you call, I won't cry for you. Okay. So, all right. You guys take care and we'll talk with you very soon, hopefully in person. All right.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
Christy,
Right.
we really appreciate you being on with us. And this is a part of their Chambers series on community immunity. And Christy, I forgot to mention that you're with Whole Heart Communication, so I apologize for that.
Yes, absolutely. And I want to give a big promo to your next 2 people that are speaking. Cindy Kiner is amazing. And whether it's just you and your business or whether you have a team, you're going to want to come back next week for Cindy's talk. Cindy and I have had many consultations. I probably would have gotten sued by now if it weren't for Cindy Kiner. And then I think your last talk is with Scott Underwood, correct?
That is correct.
Scott has been my business advisor since I started my business in 2014, and he is good. He really knows his stuff, and you're not going to want to miss those next two meetings. And just a quick shout out to the ISBDC, the Small Business Development Center. Peggy Sanova, who's on here, is the regional director for them. Their services are, I know they're really busy right now, but they do want to serve you guys. Their businesses are no cost. They're confidential. If you need some thought and guidance, definitely reach out to them. Make use of these community resources. Sean and the Chamber, they're a great community resource. They want you to succeed.
Yes.
That's why they're here. The EDC, there are a lot of people coming around you guys right now that really, really want to see you winning. So take advantage of all these resources and don't miss out on those next two workshops for sure.
And as and for everyone, just in case, we will have this up on YouTube, and we are actually putting a video library page on our website. It'll be underneath our news section, so keep a lookout for that. We'll have all our webinars available, and also those who are members. If you have webinars that you would like us to put on our video library, send us a link to that, and we'll make sure that we put that out there as well. So thank you all for joining us, and thank you again, Christy. We really appreciate it, and everyone have a good day.
Hey, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
A participant has left the meeting. A participant has left the meeting. A participant has left the meeting.